But so I think I'm not really sure exactly, how to go about doing this. There's not really too many ways I can go about increasing speeds and such things, but it does look like I had to get back online, and it looks like I'm getting a little bit of spinning down here. It's like the camera's preparing. I don't know. I did get a little warning window saying the host was already in the room, and I couldn't join because the host was already in the room. Damn, I thought I was the host. So I'm not really sure about that, but let's we'll see what happens. I I don't really know what to tell you. I may have to just try and do this downtown where I'm closer, and if that's the case, I'm going to try and do this on an evening basis. I think what I'm going to call it. Well, I'm just going to be a late night look at what I think is important to look at. I got a small little camera here. I got my box in the car plugged in because the car's running. Don't really know exactly what's going on here, so this was just a little test down here. It's obviously not fast enough where I am right now to do this, so we're gonna call it and move towards something better. But it's all learning, and that's a good thing for me. So anyway, just trying to put something out there and see where it goes and what I can do, and what the hell am I here for? That's my big problem right now. I have no idea what I'm here for or why I'm here, or what place I have in this world. So we'll figure it out, and we'll take it day by day, and we'll learn from it, and we'll move forward with the grace of God and all the people out here that are looking after me in their own way. I appreciate that, and it will be good, and it will be fine. So again, I'm just trying to do some things here and see what's happening. So I'm just testing here. So that'll be it for tonight. All righty, I guess that's it, because I'm not seeing myself show up um, on um, on Substack. So I have to assume that I'm not live, but we'll go back there and we'll hit that button up there, and it shows me that I'm here. So I guess that's probably okay, and that's what I mean. As long as I don't get kicked out here. Maybe I tried to go too quickly before. Who knows? But I'm just gonna. This is gonna be a late night look at things going on. And tonight was election night in several different states, and there's a lot of opportunity here for progressive candidates to pick up steam. And yes, there could be some Democrat in the primaries there that get kicked out after a few years, but are they really Democrats that are looking forward towards doing the right thing for the people in general? And that's where the real pressure lies right now. If you're not willing to stand up for the people, and you're going to stand up for the corporate interests and all the money making opportunities and the cruelty opportunities, and let's be honest, all the foreign money opportunities, you're not really the kind of candidate that any Democrat really needs right now or is looking forward to. So I think that I think when we change a few things and we get some new blood in there, and I think there's room, and I know that there's New York's having some upsets tonight. It sounds like I didn't really hear too much about some of the other states that are doing things tonight, but I think the wave has begun, and there's going to be a lot of people that really just don't really have any idea that what's going on. So anyway, the key thing that I'm looking at is the guy that's in Washington. I'm sitting at the desk that we let him use. Excuse me. He's having a meltdown because of the algae problem he created. It's it's crazy that he's going bonkers over a frog outfit. Um, I, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's just literally crazy that he's going to put this much effort into it when there's so many other problems that are really a whole lot more important. I mean, let's face it. The 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 reflecting pool turning green and him having a meltdown on it is minuscule compared to voting problems, taking away voting rights, women's autonomy of their bodies, health-wise especially. Um, there's just it's incredible that we're allowing this all to go on. The we we you're hearing it right. We the people we have a responsibility now. Um, there's a responsibility on our shoulders if we want to call ourselves humans. I mean, if we're just going to let this go on and let this kind of BS, keep getting worse and worse till there are no rights, then we've set ourselves up for this, and we've done exactly what they would like to have happen. So, I can't really say that this is a shock because we are wrapped up in our own little worlds and think that our own world is the only thing that's important, and yet truthfully, if we don't have each other, what really do we have? Because if every one of us is going to be fighting for our own, and I don't care about anybody else, well, that's not going to work. And everybody knows that. It's just some people have more of a love for money and what they think they can get for that money than their compassion for their fellow man. And as long as we keep going down that road, whether it's healthcare, whether it's data centers, whether it's concentration camps, whether it's illegal voting, whether it's voting control, whether it's military showing up at the ballot box, you know, um, this is there. This is a way to control people. And if you people are okay being controlled, well, I'm sorry, but at the same time, I'm glad in one sense if that's what's going to happen with this country. I mean, that's what it looks like. Um, we're not going to put up a fight, and we're going to lose everything. So, I, as I start get close to my seventh decade, I'm recognizing that I'm one of those classes of people that the government really doesn't want living, and because of that, then there's going to be shorter times for a lot of us, and it's unfortunate that the dollar means more than humanity, and people like Musk and Thiel and all those you know oligarchs that, and that's even being too nice of a word. I mean, they're billionaires. They're not billionaires, they're not trillionaires, they're billionaires. Um, and you think any one of them could take care of healthcare, take care of food, take care of quality life for so many people if they wanted to. But the hoarding of mass fortunes, even if you run this country dry, where are you going to go with that money? You run everybody into the ground. You get rid of the people that make this country work. Yes, I'm talking about undocumented immigrants too, because they bring in billions in tax revenue and in sales and whatever and workforce. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully everybody's going to be ready for what's going to be happening later this year when everything's really coming down. And it's interesting that the Republicans have set it all up to crash after the midterms when, Democrats will most likely take control. If they take control of both the Senate and the House, then um, maybe it won't be quite as bad, but a lot of it will depend on whether, the guy in Washington um, thinks he's going to leave. Now, this all presupposes the fact that he gets there. Um, is he the patient to use his bulk and his sway to get experimental drugs that haven't been tested? Well, you know, we can all hope that there's no lasting serious side effects. If that's in fact the case, the White House is saying no, 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 it's not him, it's not him, it's not him. But we know we can't really trust the White House and what they say. So it's all it's very depressing to watch this stuff happen and have so many people with the ability to say, wait, no, this is wrong. This is not good for us as a whole. And they just let it go on. And I don't know, it's really disheartening. It really, really is disheartening. Anyway, just I'm doing some testing. Didn't know if I would even have enough light down here, especially if it got darker. Yes, there's a little light on my my webcam, but that's an awfully tiny light, and I don't know that if I go like this, well, that puts a different light on me. But if I have to do that, that could probably work. I'm not really thrilled about it, but I bet you it could probably be something that works. But anyway, actually, I think it probably looks better with it on than without it on. So. Again, this is Dark Coast Rick here. I'm trying some testing. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, but I think in the coming days I'm going to set something up where I'm going to be going live at night here on the left coast. And don't know what I'll be bringing to you, but I'll be bringing you my thoughts. And for those of you that jump into the chat and have questions or things like that, I'll do my best to answer. Maybe we'll even have the ability once in a while to have somebody come in and chat with us. If I can figure out how to do that and invite guests, I think probably that would be something to be really, really wild. Especially some of the people that are out there that I believe in and I trust, and that the information they're giving me is good information. So I think it's wonderful that independent media is showing up. I also believe that a couple of the major media folks that have come over to Substack and have started, I think are doing solid work. Yes, there's some that are, I'm sure, just here for the money. I got to keep the bills paid and all that kind of stuff. Sure, like we all have to do. But some of us are further down that line, and the independent media people that are breaking stories and putting information out there that people have to account for, if only to lie for it, I think is the backbone of where we really need to go. Because let's face it, if the major media corporations are all bought and sold by a couple people, and they're all beholden to foreign interests and that, then we're not going to get anything. It's like the military. We tie our military up and make it a cohesive unit with Israel. Who are we really fighting for? Are we fighting for America? Are we fighting for Israel? Or are we fighting against things that really don't matter to America? What's his name said America first? Well, we know where America first came from, and we know he's copying that. We know what he means when he's copying that. But at the same time, even if you think of this being a positive spin on America first, then you have to look at it like, okay, where is the proof of that? I think maybe that's what really needs to start coming out all the time from people is, where's the proof? Prove it. When you're spouting off these lines, MAGA people, Republicans, little Mikey Johnson about It's an entitlement that we've paid into in our Social Security for 40, 50 years, 60, 70 years. We pay into that, and it becomes an entitlement that they'll give back to you if they feel like it. Bullshit. Bullshit. He's set up for life. He doesn't have to worry about anything money-wise ever again. He doesn't have to worry about health care ever again. And yet it's an entitlement for us. Not really sure I'm going there. So I think there's so many things going wrong right now, and that's the distraction. And I saw somebody say this on Substack earlier today. It's not really the reflecting pool anymore. It's the deflecting pool. And I think that's so true in so many ways with the things that are going on. It's all a distraction and a deflection from what White Washington doesn't want us to see, to follow up on, to make noise about, to yell about, to scream about, and to point out their lies. You know, when we stop pointing out their lies, then, well, maybe that's what it'll cost. Is you know, we'll lose everything at that point when we stop doing that. So, you know, for those of you out there doing that, my hat's off. I won't take it off, but everybody go blind. But anyway, again, this is Dark Coast Rick, just sitting in here. I'm doing some planning, some testing. I think this is probably not going to be the best place to do this, where I'm sitting now looking at the ocean. I think I'm going to have to go downtown where the speed's a little bit faster. But then again, once I got back online here, then I don't know. It looks like it's working fine. I haven't been kicked off because I wasn't allowed into the room. So I'm not really sure what all that was about earlier. Maybe I was just trying to do things too quickly. But who knows? Who knows? Anyway, this is really instrumental in my learning, and I'm getting better at it. I'm nowhere near quality like some of you people have. I have a sneaky feeling that some of you people have people that are producing your show, but you know, that's okay. You know, the people that are there have probably been in that aren't are probably been doing this sort of thing in some form or fashion for a long time, and they're more used to it, and the learning curve for me is straight up. So in any case, this is Dark Coast Musings, and this is Dark Coast Rick. That's me, DCR. And I think I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards left coast late night. I think that's what I'm going to call it. And you know, we'll see what we can do with it. I'll be out here as often as I can. Might mean having to change the lifestyle and schedule around at home a little bit more. The other adults that I live with seem to have their own time schedule, and maybe I just need to do less things there that are keeping me away from doing something like this at my own time pace and schedule. So I think that's probably what it's going to have to be. So we'll come up with a plan, and we'll be able to you know, check things out and do what we can do. And you know, if all I'm doing is just lending my voice to the blogosphere out there, and it's just another voice crowding the platform, I don't, you know, who knows? I'll rely on you people to tell me that, and we'll go from there, and we'll see how that affects everything. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I enjoy this, and if I can make something like this work, then you know, I'll see what we could do, and in that respect. So yeah, I think this is fun. I'm not quite as technically savvy as I want to be yet, but that's going to be okay. So I can put up with that. So anyway, Dark Coast Rick out for the night.